Welcome to the Laughing My Age Off podcast. In today's episode, we are going to be going behind the research and science of doing this one thing that will help slow down the aging process. And guess what? It's not working out. I know you guys think, oh, she's a hot Pilates instructor. It's all about working out. That's all I talk about. No, okay? We're ditching the workout conversation. We're ditching anti-aging creams. And we're going to get ready for some belly laughs. Are you guys ready? Let's do it.
Embark on a journey to defy time with LMAO, Laughing My Age Off podcast. I'm your host, Erica Kelly, and I started this show because, like you, I'm curious about the secrets to staying youthful as the years go by. Join me as we discover the secrets to slowing down the aging process, exploring expert insights, cutting-edge research, and personal experiences that uncover the art of aging gracefully. It's time to laugh, learn, and embrace a life full of vitality together.
So I want to ask you a question. When you're in a situation where you have the option between crying, complaining, or laughing, what do you choose? Okay, well, in today's show, I'm going to help you try to be more aware of those options, because you do have the options in your life to really think about how do you want to react. And over the years, as I've gotten older, I realized that we do have a decision to make. And what I do is I do try to laugh. All right. And there's many ways to do that and to really change the way you look at things. Okay. So in today's show, we're going to talk about laughter. Okay. And we're not talking about the sarcastic laughter. We're talking about those really good times that you have where, you know, I want you to think about the last time you had a really, really good belly laugh. And I know I always try to repeat that, because if you can repeat that feeling that you get, we're going to talk about what that actually is doing in your body. All right. Laughter is really the best medicine. You know, they do say that for a reason. And it turns out there's some real benefits to it. So we're going to get into some of that science. So there are 5 different benefits that we're going to talk about today. All right. There are probably more, but these are the 5 that really stood out to me and I think would have the most benefit to your health. Okay, so listen up. Number 1, laughter protects your heart. So if you have any heart conditions or if you have high blood pressure, I want you to pay particular attention to this one. Number 2, it reduces stress. All right. Number 3, it burns calories. And number 4, it improves our memory. So it's really good for the brain. And number 5, it strengthens relationships. This is what happens when you try to record a podcast and you have a pug. This is Gigi, the happy pug. Follow her on Instagram, by the way. She's got some great content that will hopefully make you laugh. So we talked about the 5 things: protecting the heart, reduces stress, burns calories, and improves your memory. And last but not least, strengthens relationships. All right, so let's talk about number 1, protecting the heart. All right, so we're going to drink a sip of wine every single time I get interrupted. All right, so protecting the heart. So according to a Harvard article, it writes about a study that was done by the University of Texas, okay? They asked 17 healthy adults to watch a 30-minute video that would make them laugh, all right? And what they did is they tested their blood flow. And they tested the difference between these 2 groups, right? The group that watched the video, and then they had a control group. Guess what they found, all right? They found that the people in the group that watched a funny video actually improved their arteries for almost 24 hours after. And so the hypothesis behind this, psychiatrists were like, why is this happening, right? And the Stanford University School of Medicine noted that the brain chemicals called endorphins. We talk about endorphins a lot on this podcast, and we will be talking about them a lot because endorphins, when they are released during laughter, they actually give you that effect where you're feeling good, right? That's typically what endorphins do. So when you laugh, what they go on to say, technically what's going on is that these endorphins, they latch onto what they call the opioid receptors in the lining of the blood vessels. Okay. So they latch on to these things. This interaction actually stimulates the blood vessels and it releases nitric oxide. So that is a molecule that is known to relax arteries. All right. So what is this all saying in, scientific terms? It's just saying that when you laugh, you become relaxed, and that really impacts the inside of your body, which means your heart. All right. In this case, we're talking about the heart. So it actually permits easier blood flow. And if you think about it, that makes sense. Whenever you're laughing, your whole body just becomes relaxed. You feel good. And you do, I know when I laugh, a really good laugh, right? My face kind of gets flushed. It gets just warm. And, outside of working out, that's another time that happens, right? So there is another study actually done according to Fukushima Medical University in Japan that says that those who laughed, they did a study with over 21,000 adults, and those that were laughing every day were less likely to have heart disease than those who never laughed. Okay? So there you have it. Your number one benefit that we're talking about today is it protects the heart. Get some more laughter in because by science, it is telling us that it will actually create a better, healthier heart. All right, let's go on to talk about number 2. You ready? So number 2, it reduces stress. That one is probably not surprising to you. It wasn't for me. But when you laugh, according to science, your brain releases mood-boosting chemicals, which we just talked about. It releases endorphins. But what happens when those endorphins are released? All right, so we're going to talk about that. You actually reduce the amount of stress hormones. All right, and everybody knows the C word, cortisol, right? Cortisol. Cortisol, what is cortisol? Those of you who are not familiar with cortisol, all right, it is a hormone that your body releases when it perceives stress, right? So you may have heard of that as your body's natural flight or fight response. But when we have too much of it, which a lot of Americans do, there's no release of it, right? So if you're not working out, if you're not laughing, all right, this is a natural way to release some of that extra cortisol that your body doesn't need. And if you don't know if you have too much cortisol in your life, I want to let you know some of the symptoms are weight gain, all right, and especially happens around the face, all right, and around the belly. So many women I know suffer from this if they're not doing things to prevent it, right? Like working out, laughing, those kinds of things. So the cortisol ends up, creating more belly fat. We don't want any of that, right? So what else? What other signs are there? Well, headaches. So if you know somebody that complains about headaches all the time, they've got a cortisol overload, all right? Hypertension, so high blood pressure, all right? Check yourself. Are you laughing more? Do you have high blood pressure? Come on. Osteoporosis is another symptom of too much cortisol in the body. And muscle weakness. Ick, that one's bad. We all need muscle. Muscle is a great way to protect your body, all right, against disease. And, it just goes without saying. So that's just a little lesson on cortisol and why laughter will reduce some of that cortisol in the body. And you know what? Cortisol is addictive. If you ever met somebody in your circle who is negative, just not positive, just think of those people as an overload of cortisol because they definitely have too much of it. Okay. Stay away from those people or minimize the time you have with those people. All right. And so we know now that laughter reduces stress. It relaxes the whole entire body and, it really relaxes the tension and stress that you have. So these articles go on to say it will relax you for over 45 minutes. So it's not just a short little time where you'll get those benefits. It actually extends to about 45 minutes. All right. So let's go ahead and move into benefit number 3 of why you should add more laughter into your life. This broadcast is brought to you by Clean Crafted Wines. Ladies, are you waking up crummy because you're drinking crappy wine? Well, Clean Crafted Wines include no added sugars, low sulfites, no synthetic pesticides are used, and no fillers or colors, artificial flavors are ever added to our wines. So we know we talked about hangovers in some of our previous podcasts. Those are going to be worse as we get older. Make sure you're drinking Clean Crafted the next time you open up your bottle of wine. Our direct link can be found in our show notes, or you can find us at scoutandcellar.com/fit and pretty life. That's FITN pretty life. We'll see you soon. Bye. Cheers, by the way. And I'm still figuring out my setup here. I said I was only going to do audio. But I've received a lot of requests for video. So there you have it, people. Whoever wanted video, it's right here. It's nothing special. But, I did have to put some earrings on because my good friend Renee gave me these and I love hearts. So we like hearts. Okay, we're going back to our topic here for the laughter benefits. And this one is about burning calories. All right, so let's talk about this. And I want you to think about the last time you laughed again. I asked you this in the beginning of the show. How many calories do you think you can burn? All right, let's get into it. So according to a study by Vanderbilt University in 2005, they found that laughing for 10 to 15 minutes a day can approximately burn 40, that's 40 calories. And they put this in perspective where you could burn enough calories to lose 3 to 4 pounds over the course of a year. Now that's if you're like seeking out laughter and, you're really making it a priority to find laughter in your life. All right. It's not this like once a month type thing. So that I want to just put that out there. But laughter, it actually undergoes a physiological change in your body, right? Think about it. Your blood pressure actually goes up. You breathe at a faster rate. I mean, have you ever had a laugh where you're like with your girlfriends, guys, if you're listening with your guy friends, and you just cannot stop laughing? I had one of those situations not too long ago. A few weeks ago, I was with some of my friends, and we were talking about vibrators, and it was one of those times where it was the first time we were talking about it, as a group in our circle of friends, that it was a great way to bond. Okay. And we'll be talking about this in a little bit, but, laughter can really burn those calories, especially, if you are with other people. All right. So, laughter, let's go back to burn those calories. It can actually increase your heart rate between 10 to 20%. So that's just some of the science behind it. And, there's various muscles in your body that actually become impacted, like your face, your belly. I mean, they call it a belly laugh for a reason. So your abs, you're getting some Pilates abs without even trying, right? And throughout your body, your whole body is actually stretched to some extent when you have that really good belly laugh. So again, I think the tip here is adding laughter to your life will burn extra calories. I mean, who doesn't want that, right? Especially if you're over 40. Yes. Cheers to that. If you got any tips on how to have a perfect podcast situation here, let me know. Okay, let us cheers to number 4. And that is laughter can improve your memory. So this is talking about the brain. I'm very fascinated by the brain, about how to slow down the aging of our brain, because the brain is everything. You lose this, you lose everything. Okay. So laughter improves the memory, and it has been shown to improve cognitive function and memory, in particularly the damaging effects of aging and stress can impair the ability to learn and sustain memory. So as we're aging, if you're not doing things, specific things, and I have some other podcast shows where you're helping your brain to do specific exercises, but laughter is a big component of slowing down the aging process. And they go on to talk about in these articles that the chronic release of cortisol, okay, we talked about the C word already. What is it? It's a stress hormone that releases into the body. Most of us have too much of it. And we talked about how this could induce stress in your body. So this chronic release of cortisol that we talked about can actually damage the hippocampus neurons. So the hippocampus neurons, leading to the impairment of learning and memory. So not finding a release of cortisol, like working out and, laughing, maybe eating dark chocolate. I think that's another one. Those things, let's add the laughing in there as well. So there's a study that was done in Loma Linda University in California. And if you haven't heard one of the podcasts already launched, we talk about Loma Linda and the centurions, right? And how they're living longer lives. And it was one of the towns was Loma Linda. So listen up. This town is magical for a reason. So this university goes on to say they were testing adults. So they took 20 adults. So they put one of them in a control group and the other one in a group where they were watching America's Funniest Home Videos. I don't know if I would have chosen that, but American Funniest Home Videos, they do have some funny stuff and they've gotten better over the years. So what they found with the group that watched America's Funniest Home Videos was that they improved their learning ability by how much? You'll never guess. Okay, 38.5% versus the other group. And the other group, was told to sit in a room calmly. They sat calmly, this research goes to say, and they couldn't eat, they couldn't talk to anybody, and they couldn't sleep. So they were just, I don't know, I think they were just twiddling their thumbs. All right, so that's number 4. Are you guys ready to move on to number 5? Let's do it. Okay, so we're cheersing to number 5, and that is laughter strengthens your relationships. All right. Did you know that we are 30 times more likely to laugh with someone else than when we are alone? I think we can all think about a time when someone starts laughing and then we start laughing, right? There's just something about it. And, whenever I love comedy clubs, all right, I love just watching a stand-up comedian, any of it, I'll sign up for it, right? Because when you're in a room with energy like that, you get one person laughing, you get 2 people laughing. It just, that impact of energy in that room, energy is everything. So I just love it. I love it. And now I know why, because of these 5 reasons. Okay. It literally changes the chemistry in your body. All right. And there's research that shows that there's a British cognitive neuroscientist. Her name is Sophia Scott. She describes it as laughter as a social emotional connection, right? I mean, it literally increases the bonding feelings of intimacy. So, did you ever notice a time? Think about a time where you laughed a little bit more because you were with somebody. All right. And it's true. If you're, with people who make you laugh, don't you want to be with them more often? I do. I select the people I want to be with. If you're not making me laugh or you don't want to laugh with me, I just don't want to be around you. Just being honest here. And, the groups that I hang out with, whether it be in our Pilates group, whether it be just here in Florida, I want to be around people who like to laugh. Okay. And, I do want to throw out there that, if you don't have people to laugh with, there are things that you can do to encourage more laughter in your life. I mean, social media is good for that. You can also, I know YouTube's around. I love Instagram. I know TikTok's the thing. I'm trying to get more into TikTok, but what do you guys listen to? Do you guys, I know people binge on social media. I know people knock at social media, but I love it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And let's talk about some of the tips, right, where you can encourage more laughter in your life. Are you guys ready? And if you have any more laughter tips, please message me on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok, Fit and Pretty Life. All right. So let's talk about the 5 tips that we can do to encourage more laughter in our life. All right. Number 1 is awareness and seeking it out. This laughter isn't just going to come to you. Sometimes it does. But if you want to, experience this on a more regular daily basis, you have to put things in place. You think about losing weight, getting fit. You're going to seek workouts, right? You're going to seek how to eat better. So seek it out. Number 2, know that you have a choice, all right, in any situation to be sad, happy, or you can laugh about the situation, all right? So take a pause anytime you are finding yourself in a situation. If you're in a work situation and someone's just pissing you off, I usually just find something funny about the situation and it really carries me into another place versus being mad about it, increasing that cortisol. Again, we're trying to reduce that cortisol in the body to, again, age gracefully. This whole podcast is about, reducing those aging symptoms, living life with more vitality. All right. Number 3. Okay. This one is pretty unique and you're probably like, Erica, I'm not going to do this, but I've been trying to find ways where I can do this more. And that is train your own comedy skills. So, okay. How do you start with that one? For me, I love to create videos. If you haven't followed me already, I'm on Instagram at Fit and Pretty Life. That's FITN as in Nancy, Pretty Life. And, there are times I do skits and I put wigs on and I just have fun with it. I don't care what people think. It makes me laugh. And my hopes is that it will give you a laugh. All right. So if you're not into social media, then fine. Find something. If you're ever in a situation where you're embarrassed, learn to laugh it off because you know what? Life is too short and it's a lot better when you can laugh it off. Don't take life so seriously. It's going to increase your cortisol. All right. If anything you take out of this whole show, ask yourself, is this going to increase my cortisol? All right. And number 4, seek out comedy shows. All right. Or watch a movie that is a comedy. Do not pick the scary shit. Okay. I can't stand scary movies. I just don't. I had a thing when I was younger. One of my friend's house, we had a sleepover. We were probably like 9 or 10. I can't remember. But whenever Freddy Krueger came out, and that was the most traumatizing thing I've ever watched in my life. Now, if you watch it, right, it's so stupid. But my point is, don't try to seek drama. Try to seek comedy shows, comedy movies. Go see a stand-up. Netflix has plenty of stand-ups you can watch. All right. Some of my favorites are Kevin Hart. Jim Gaffigan has a good place in my heart. Joe Coy, that's another one. Adam Sandler, he's okay. Who's really good is Rob Schneider. Saw him live in Fort Myers. You guys, totally underrated. He is a great comedian. So if you haven't seen him already, make sure you see him on tour. All right. And number 5, socialize with others who have the same or similar sense of humor as you do. Okay. They will light up your life and they will make your life better. So I hope this show brightened up your day and made you think about laughter in a whole new way, because it will slow down the aging process. We'll see you next time. Bye.